top. I'm like my cabaret non-stop. It may be erotic, it may be ecstatic when you're down on the floor in your attic. We can take a pill and shut our eyes and let our love materialize. And I don't mean love on a chocolate box, I mean a love that really rocks. 'Cause they call me the baby, the good time lady. Just look at me and it's easy to see why they call me Cindy Ecstasy. Ecstasy. 'Cause I've got the eyes, the words, the wines to make your love thing really rise. You don't need just be in your powder when you've got the prize that'll brighten your skies. So look me up and I tell no lies, 'cause I'm the lady with the hot surprise. If you don't believe me, ask all sucks. I shook them up and I gave him hell. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for.
Rising out of the mists of an alternate dimension of fantastic films, fanzine Drive an Asylum, an independent publication created by and for fans like you, haunting your days and terrorizing your nights with reminiscences of your favorite nightmare films of a bygone era. Issue number 23 features an extensive interview with actor Pat Carty from William Castle's Let's Kill Uncle and 1973 shocker Horror High. We also talk to the enchanting Christine DeBelle from Meatballs and The Big Brawl. And of course you'll find pages and pages of newsprint ads arranged in collage form the way you used to find them in your newspaper. Images of the sensational, the shocking, the lurid, the bizarre. They're here, now, waiting to be rediscovered in the pages of Drive an Asylum. Order directly from Etsy shop Groovy Doom or visit one of these fine retailers to pick up Drive an Asylum, your fantastic film connection. To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a fanzine. 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 Welcome back to the Drive an Asylum double feature, and I don't know about you guys, but I am still reeling from all the pus in that film.
There's a lot of pus. That's why you should bring a toothbrush.
Oh, thank God you remembered. I forgot mine.
Here, use mine.
Thank you. I swallowed mine.
Good times. Good times.
In case you don't recognize him, this is Patrick K. Walsh from Scream Queens with us tonight. We're very excited that he's joined us once again on the DIA double feature. And, well, there's me and Sam, too. But, you know,
you guys are nice, too. And you smell good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like this. It's probably been maybe like 15 years since I've seen this movie. So I'm really excited about it. I thought it was great.
I think I know nothing happens. I know the people in my room are having trouble following the plots, but I said it doesn't matter. Once you get to the last 10 minutes, nothing else matters. It's great stuff. And you have to also,
I can only imagine kids were losing their minds screaming at that. The last
it's
couple
serious stuff in that last 10 minutes. Like the visuals are
Yeah.
really disturbing.
Real skeletons too, just like Poltergeist. Those were all real skeletons making those effects.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, can we talk about the similarities to Poltergeist, especially with those coffins bursting open and
Yeah.
people
Corpse
being
popping.
Yeah. It was very similar, but One Dark Night did it first.
Yeah.
They got there first.
Yeah.
And the disco lighting, as Bill said, the purple lighting coming out of those cracks in the
That's why
marble.
that's why I put my disco jacket on. I am Raymar in the coffin right now. He had like the whole like club setup in there. He had the smoke machine, he had the lasers, he had the disco lights. He had it. He was rocking in the other side.
He borrowed all his equipment from Susan from Mausoleum. She had a similar purple light and smoke machine in her mausoleum too.
I just see in the chat that David said that the corpse looked like Ray Milland. Does anybody know who the face was modeled after?
No, please tell us.
Christopher Walken.
Oh wow!
Can we just say that was Christopher Walken? Let's pretend.
You know
really
what? It would not surprise me that if in the afterlife Christopher Walken would be using his psychic powers to like pig pile on teenage girls.
Gigi's got an issue with the color scheme that they used for their jackets. Yeah, they had a very Pink Ladies type.
Pink Lady pledge is cool to look cool and to be cool. I'm with you, Gigi. I'm with you. Obviously, think pink.
You are correct about the pants being tight.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I don't even know what fabric that is. Unstable molecules from the Marvel Universe or something.
There's that, and I never noticed this before, but after that tunnel scene where they drop E.G. Daily off, she's talking to Steve in front of the motorcycle, and the motorcycle headlight is right on her crotch.
Yeah.
All camel toe all the time. Poor thing.
How did anybody even walk in that? Like once you get the pliers and pull them up.
She had that long walk home. She's gonna be chafed to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She all yeast now.
I imagine there's just a decompression process when you take them off.
Upper part of her body.
When you peel them off, actually.
Upper part of her body deflated.
It's like diffusing a mine. You got to be really careful about it. You could
get
explode.
talcum powder and
explode.
pour it in a little bit and gradually just pull them down. A two-person job, Becca said. Yeah, two-person job to take those pants off and put them on.
Yeah.
It's it could be like a corset, except lower than a corset.
Yeah, yeah. The top half is breathing. The bottom half is dead. It's pretty strange. My favorite part of this movie is when she grabbed that soldier's face and the half of his face fell off. I can only imagine.
PG movie. How did that get through?
Yeah, the melting scene too, where she redirects the lightning bolts back on him and his face. His whole head comes apart.
I think what happened is the censors watched the first hour and they're like, "No, this is fine. Let's just leave." And then they snuck all the gore into the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I love that. That end is like such wonderful gay camp. That whole when she walks in, she's like, "Maybe I'm bored with it. Maybe it's Maybelline."
Yeah, someone mentioned that about how they were on board till they saw the compact. That was what put me on board.
Me too, because it's like that whole. It's such a drag move. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. Look at you. What are you doing? You can come back from the dead, and this is what you're doing. What are you doing, jerk? Take me.
Why is Adam West in this movie? What is he in this movie?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
The director wrote the role for him because he felt sorry for him. He saw him in an interview on TV where he's saying he can't get work anymore because everybody just sees Batman and writes him off. So he said, "Okay, I'm going to write your role in my movie." And he's just hammered in there.
Yeah.
He's literally, you can take him out and nothing changes.
Except that you don't have that part where he says, "Well, I just don't know what to do with all this talk of psychic stuff and Raymar." Mike Justice, his toupee was distracting me.
Oh, he didn't have a turkey neck. He was 54 when he made this movie. Or no, 45. He wasn't even 50.
He was 29.
Sorry, I got it backwards. We figured it out, though. He was about 45 years old when he made One Dark Night. And I don't know. I like that he's in this movie, even though he doesn't have anything to do. They could have had one scene for him, maybe.
Yeah.
That would have been
Does
generous.
he maybe see the psychic in the mirror and then,
Oh, why did he let her go to the mausoleum by herself?
She wasn't waiting around. He was in his PJs. It takes him forever to get. He's like, what am I going to wear? Should I wear my green shoes or my red shoes? He doesn't have the bat pole. He doesn't change the clothes quickly anymore.
He's used to having a butler. He's not used to getting his own clothes ready.
Uh-huh.
I really expected him to show up at the mausoleum at the end, but he didn't.
No.
Nope. His name was on the posters for the foreign buyers, and that's what he was there for.
Really?
My favorite camp part of this too is early on when when Meg has her big scene on the boardwalk where she's explaining why she wants to join the sisters, and she's like, "I'm just so sick and tired. All I hear all the time is Julie's such a nice girl. Julie's such a nice girl. Julie's such a nice girl." Future Oscar nominee, 2-time Meg Tilly.
That was her run up.
I'm so sick and tired of Julie's such a nice girl. From now on, I'm going to be the biggest whore this town's ever seen. And the moral of the movie, by the way, is if Julie had stayed home and cleaned the oven, none of this would have happened.
Nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. No. That's someone
She could have been fucking her boyfriend, and she could have been cleaning that oven. Nothing would have happened.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first segment, Leaf, but I'm glad that you remember that too, because there was a lot of talk about this movie, and also in Famous Monsters, Forey Ackerman talked about it as well, because it was going to be horror was still really big, and 82 is when it first came out, so I guess they shot it maybe at the end of 81, or maybe early 82, but you can shoot anything in California at any time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I also enjoyed how outside the windows of Adam West's bedroom, it was daylight in the dark. Like it was the brightest light streaming through the windows.
It's California. The sun never sets there, ever.
Yeah.
It was like Alaska.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, the sun's up.
It's not even day for night. It's just day all the time. Whenever you need it to be day.
I also noticed this time that Carol, our main bitch, she apparently went to the Linnea Quigley School of Acting, where every word is breathy, like she's thinking about facts. She was doing the Linnea Quigley acting voice before Linnea Quigley was doing the acting voice.
She was a pothead, though. She was a pothead. I respect her.
Carol's twisted. She is not a well woman. There's something wrong with that girl. Like, just look at the whole situation. Why are you hanging out with these two? The three of you girls do not go together.
I didn't buy them as friends. That's good.
Well, that Carol is hanging out with these two to piss off her parents. I can't bring either because clearly E.G. Daly's from the wrong side of the tracks, and Kitty, she's got bird bones. Apparently, she can't jump down from a height without breaking an ankle. She's black and she's dressed like Mr. Green Jeans from Captain Kangaroo. That's all going to piss off her parents.
Yeah, I liked. What was her name? Not Carol, but Kitty.
Kitty.
I loved Kitty. I want Kitty to have her own movie. I thought she was pretty spunky, and I liked that she was. I like that scene where she got scared, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you sure scared her." Old corny jokes always get me. Yeah.
And there's a lot of great visual stuff too. Like I love the lighting work. They're using that same hallway in the mausoleum over and over again, but they're making it look different with the cutouts on the floor. But it's smart. It looks great.
Bill and I talked about this. Who is going to clean this up in the morning? Like there has to be a funeral like at 9.
Well, it's that old guy who came in and says the line. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. Is that old guy they run into at the beginning before they go in? It's like, I don't know what he says. I've seen it 1,000 times. No idea what he tells them. They're like, okay, creepy old dude. We're just gonna go.
Oh yeah, there was somebody that was a dentist that was involved in creating this movie. I think. There was definitely the psychiatrist angle led to all the psychobabble in it.
And the exposition albino. I actually met Tom McLaughlin. Tom McLaughlin?
Yeah,
Tom McLaughlin. I met him at Camp Nobi Bosco, where they do the tours of the Friday the 13th original movie shoot. He was there for one of the 40th anniversary one, and everyone was mobbing him, wanting to talk about Jason Lives. I just came up to him like, "Thank you for putting nerdle brain into my vocabulary." And it's fabulous. And he said, I asked him about the toothbrush, and he's like, "I knew a girl who did that in high school, and I was always fascinated by it. I thought it would make an interesting character trait, so we put it in the script." Yeah.
Oh wow!
And it's the final shot of the movie. The toothbrush laying there forlorn. I love it. It's so weird.
I like it. Does have the Carrie thing, the last scream. Like, I'm sure all the kids were finally calmed down. That last head hit. And
that was not in the original script. We talked earlier about how this movie had a different ending originally.
Well, this was the original. This was the original ending. I
don't think so.
No, because Tom had to buy the rights. He had to raise money to buy the rights to the movie back, because they changed his ending, and he had to buy the movie back to put his ending back in.
But in his original ending, Meg Tilly ended up with the psychic power. Like Raymar transferred himself into her, and like there was this close up of her eyes, and they were like electrically charged. And they took that out. So and he was so angry about the fact that they took it out that they went back and shot that ending with the toothbrush in his garage. Like that's not from the original shoot, and they got the actors came back and the technicians, and they
get the pile.
Yeah, then they did the screaming corpse that they shoved into the screen for one last shot. So I think it all worked out personally.
Yeah. There's a lot of maggots in that scene too. At the end, there's a lot of maggots going on.
I can't believe it still. I know it was the 80s, but still a PG rating for this, man. It's just so. She put her foot through that stomach and was raining maggots on her ankle. It was so gross.
That was always my favorite part of it.
And all the balled up feet, just grisly.
I do like that whenever when Meg was possessed, she did the same foot movements too. Like she got dragged the same way. That was pretty cool.
One of my favorite mistakes in this, well, it's not a mistake, it's just the way it is. You keep seeing there's so much time with just the girls walking around the mausoleum. And on the sound, you're hearing click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing sneakers. Click, 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 click.
A lot of Nikes. They're early adopters in Nikes. Pre-Jordan, they were rocking Nikes. They were way ahead of the curve.
They were. Does it bother you? Because I know a lot of people don't like the movie because they're not zombies. They're just puppets.
No, I love it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I love the. Yeah, I think I like that they just pop in and they're puppets. I think that's right.
I remember when I first saw it. I remember for a while, I'm like, "This is stupid." Then the longer it went on, I'm going, "This is actually really kind of worse."
Yeah,
and if they're personified, yeah.
There's something more real about it, if you could even say that about this movie. But it's like the actual experience of being confronted by dead bodies. Even if the bodies aren't trying to bite you or anything like a zombie, like it's just being forced to come into contact with a dead thing. I know so many people that can't do that. They can't deal with it.
There's also the scene where Kitty's laying on the ground and they're all like kind of coming on top of her. And I think about how they shot that. They were just dumping skeletons on her, on that poor actress, and just throwing corpses at her.
She was a trooper.
They're all troopers.
Everybody in this movie was a trooper. Except Adam West was like, I am not going near those maggots. I'm going to stay here in my pajamas. I'm very comfortable.
I can't get maggots in this wig. I have to return it. And since on my show, I look at movies through the gay lens, and if it's not there, I force it. There's that line that the exposition albino has to what's her name? The daughter, Olivia. It's like, Olivia, I knew your father. We were very close.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh.
There's a lot in that pause.
I used to be a brunette before I met him, but he robbed my world, girl. By the way, I have a cassette. I can explain. Your father's a psychic vampire. I'm only a day player. So here's a cassette that's going to explain anything. Flip it over. It's El DeBarge's new single. It's fabulous. You're going to love it. Gotta go bye. I'm out.
Johnny?
Exposition albino out of here.
Welcome back, everybody. We're glad you came back to hang out with us again, by the way. And we encourage you to click like or share the video because that helps us get seen. You know how strange these social media platforms are about actually serving the content when the content is being provided.
Good Lord. Leaf Junker. That is a terrifying story. That must have been really creepy watching that alone in a movie theater when you're 13.
Yeah, I would have been traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking if I saw this, I was like 11 when this came out. The end of this movie would have traumatized me, especially the melding psychic. I probably would have woken up a couple times for the next week thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really wish I had seen it alone in the theater now. Maybe not when I was 11, but
I will say though that as a kid, the fact that they weren't actually zombies, that kind of did annoy me, because it was like they were giving you something and they weren't really giving you what you thought they were supposed to go. Of course, I was 13 years old, so how dare they try and be a little original?
Mormon zombies don't walk.
Yeah.
Not true.
Well, I don't know if you looked in the back. There's one on roller skates dressed like Olivia Newton-John. It's amazing.
Kira, we saw you in your movie. I made a movie a few years ago.
It bombed, so they buried me alive. Zing.
Oh, you saw it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love Olivia Newton-John. I was just, how Facebook feeds you things that happened years ago. I got pictures from when I saw her in concert, and I was so excited. She was really good. Olivia Newton-John, like she hit all those notes and everything. She was for real.
Yeah.
I dug it.
No,
I really dug it.
She could rock. I'm the one you want. It's all I want to be. That song is dirty, and I love it.
There was no holding her back. She was totally hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, we took a turn, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't know how we got here. Let's
That was my fault. It was my fault. I dragged Olivia Newton-John into all this mess.
Sam, continue.
Oh. I want to know how many times they used that same pickup shot of the eyes with lightning. Like, they had a lot of coverage for that shot. They used that, and the hallway shots got used. There's some great editing.
And the cracking faceplate. When we have a lull in the story, get to the faceplate.
With the rave lights behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really good example of what you can do with editing if as you put two movies together.
Unfortunately, one of the movies is just her sitting in her sad bathrobe listening to a tape for like 45 minutes. It's very boring.
I also like the look of wearing the long nightgown with jeans under it. That's a very interesting choice that she makes at that one point, and then switches. And then she puts on a very functional jacket when she goes to battle her father.
And a turtleneck.
And said, and I love that she takes her fucking time to get to him. That girl is getting possessed, and people are dying everywhere, and she's like, I'm gonna slowly walk.
And she just walks right in the front door, no problem. Nobody else can get in around. She's like, because I'm pretty. I'm the lead. Out of my way.
She just keeps getting knocked out over and over again and getting back up again and again. She will not give up. Also, how do zombies have the night away?
She is Chumbawamba, and that's what Chumbawamba was born.
Through marble, which is another. They're incredibly strong from these powers.
Oh yeah, that for a corpse that had been in there for X number of years, the bones would have shattered.
Yeah. I mean, I bring realism into a movie where compacts destroy a psychic, so maybe I should think.
It also was probably the compact mirror also probably had a little tiny bit of cocaine on it that also helps.
Yeah,
deflecting evil because it was the 80s.
Adam West hooked her up. He's like, "Look, babe, if you're gonna go to that mausoleum, you need a little bit of hit. You need some. You need some cha-cha." So they never called it that.
The other thing I wanted to say is this movie made me look at this as Patrick looks at movies through the gay lens. I look at movies through the Pittsburgh lens. Every girl in this movie was super 80s attractive for Pittsburgh because it's all about how big you can make your hair. So I think that if anyone past that era saw E.G. Daily today, they'd be like, her hair really feels like it's going to be really heavy and chunky. No. 1982 Pittsburgh, she's A-list. There's a lot of Aquanet.
Oh no. She was like prime rocker chick for that time. That's why I said she's from the other side of the tracks from Carol. Yeah. That's why she's like, I'm gonna bring whatever her name was home just to piss off my mom, so I can steal her. So I can steal her Demerol when she's not looking. They gave her Demerol. That's fucked up.
She would hang
They
out
were
with
mean.
Angel. Like that is, she's the kind of girl
Oh,
that would be
totally should be Angel's best friend.
Yeah, they'd be doing Demerol. Demerol's crazy too. Like that's like this isn't even. She's like, oh, I'm going to give you a little bit of something. Like we're going straight to like category 2 drugs. Like fuck it, it's 1982.
She's gonna wind up like Helen Hunt in that after school special. Take one hit and jump out a window.
Like Diane Linkletter.
Yeah. As a kid, I often thought if I did a single drug, I would think I could fly because I saw Dragnet a lot. So I was like, I'm not going to do any drugs. No, I've never thought I could fly doing drugs. I thought I can drive home, which is different, and but never thought I could fly.
In Pittsburgh.
Or went to a mausoleum on them.
What did you say?
I never went to a mausoleum on drugs.
I never was inside of a mausoleum until like I think like in my late 20s or early 30s I went to a funeral in a mausoleum. No one I knew was ever buried in a mausoleum.
Yeah, my uncle's in one.
Mm-hmm.
He's not dead though, which is weird. But he's
old school. Yeah.
Does he have disco lights in there?
I don't know. He might. I don't. Gigi was wondering where she got the Demerol. They never said.
I think everybody's parents in
It was
the 80s
California.
It
was dispensed at the school next to the tampon machine. I don't know.
People in the 80s had a lot of just wild drugs, I think drugs were not as regulated. PG movies were filled with gore like this, and moms just had Seconal and Demerol just sitting there.
We're just gonna drop, and it was free range children. We're just gonna drop the kids at the movies all day. We're gonna take Mama's Little Helper and vacuum the shit out of the house.
That young girl Alice in The Hunger, she's like, "You want some lewds? I got some in my case." She had the hookup too. She's like, "My mom gets them."
She's a musician. They're all like that.
She's like, "My mom gets them," so she just takes them.
Paul brought up that arcade too. How amazing was that arcade?
Everything in that arcade just gave me the warmest nostalgia feelings. I think my pants are still wet.
It's like the wood paneling behind it, kind of, and like just all the pinball. So good.
My two favorite things in any movie is a montage sequence or a completely unnecessary musical number, and this was a great montage sequence. And it was what made it even better was that it's a dating montage, so it's all cuts of them doing stuff. But all of them were just it was just back and forth shots of them looking at each other going, we're having a great time.
And then cut the ducks.
It's intense. Like that girl that my other favorite part of the movie is that girl that he has that he runs into at the arcade later on. That the spaced out chick.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
She's like, huh?
I think Carol went home. I
thought you were broken up from Carol.
That's Mrs. Tom McLaughlin.
Oh
wow!
I didn't know that.
Movies like this put a bad thought in my mind that when I was old enough to date, that I could just take a girl to the arcade and we'd have a blast. Like she would love it. Like, let's go play Berserk and Moon Cresta, and she would be like, no.
There were so many scary ways that sentence could have ended, but that was
I landed it. I saw you like it was like, oh my god, nope, I took it off. I did it right.
I would go out with a girl and I'd put her jeans up really tight.
Yeah. I thought that every girl would have camel toe like it. How would I get her out of this dance?
She makes a sound like the dog when you step on him.
Yeah. I thought everybody had a yeast infection.
They did.
I did have something I was going to say, and now I totally forgot it because of that statement.
Also,
that's why I love
doing Mike Justice.
Chris mentioned, like, let's invent a time machine. Honestly, if I had a time machine, I would not use it for anything good. It would just be to see all the movies that Bill shows. Like, I would go to, what's that one Tiki themed theater you always show stuff for, Bill?
Oh, the Kon-Tiki.
The Kon-Tiki, 100%. Like, all the time machine would be just to go to the Kon-Tiki and arcades around it.
There was a place in
South Carolina. Castles I would go to.
There was a place in South Carolina called the Longleaf, and they showed all the import Italian films. This was in South Carolina, and they were getting shit, The Beyond, and there was some stuff that they showed there that I really don't see exhibited very often. So the Longleaf would be one of my visits.
Yeah.
Patrick, did you go to the movies a lot when you were younger? Like, I'm not sure how old you are. So, like, did you see these movies?
I'm
theatrically?
29.
Of course. I meant. I know you're not out of your 20s yet. So,
Yes, I did. I mean, there was a movie theater by my house, and I figured out at the time I said, okay, at the time you could go, admission was $2.50 and $2.50 for a popcorn and soda. So $5 I was set for the whole day. And so that was a great place to go. So yeah, I saw a lot of movies growing up, and you know, since I grew up on monster movies on TV and Vincent Price movies, I famously conned my mother into taking me to the original Friday the 13th just because I knew it was scary and was traumatized for life. And here I am now. So,
did she recognize Betsy Palmer?
Yes.
She sold dish soap on TV.
I remember for days I can't believe that Betsy Palmer was in that piece of trash. Pretty much every other parent on the block was like, I can't believe you took your son to that and didn't take him home, because I wanted to go home. It was too much. I've never seen a movie like that. I didn't know movies like that existed. So it was the whole thing. Cool story.
I got her address from Gene Siskel, and I'm writing an angry letter.
Oh, yeah. How nasty was that? Gene Siskel printed Betsy Palmer's address in his negative review of Friday the 13th and told people to write her mean letters.
I guess there wasn't stalking back then. I guess Gene Siskel didn't understand how that all worked.
No, because there wasn't the internet, and he had to like write a postcard, write a letter, and it would take 7 days to get there. It was a whole thing.
Anyway.
You had to wait for the Pony Express to deliver it, and they might got taken over by engines.
We should move on to our second feature of the night, because
we don't want to miss this boat.
It's a doozy. And Patrick, this was a special request from you, and it is
Cruise into Terror. I'm ready.
There we go.
I've never seen this. I'm super excited.
Take your expectations way down. This is one of those movies, like I said, I grew up on monster movies of the time, and what people don't realize, like when a made-for-TV movie came on, shit stopped because there was only 3 or 5 channels, and it was an event. It would be a community event. Everybody would be talking about it the next day, and it wasn't like you could catch it again. They might play it again over the summer. They might not. You might never see it again. It might be your only time to see this movie. So everybody would gather and watch whatever the fuck it was. So we saw some crazy shit. And this movie is one I like to use. I said, okay, everybody remembers the great ones like Crowhaven Farm and I can't even think of anything else, but there were great made-for-TV movies. This is not one of them. This is one of the bonkers cocaine-driven ones, and that's why I love it. It's everything in the 70s that was popular mashed into one movie. When I revisited it for the first time, I'm going, okay, so we've got Satan, we've got The Omen, we've got mummies, we've got Egyptology, because this was the era of King Tut. We've got cruise ships, we've got girls in bikinis. All this is missing is a shark. There it is.
Yeah.
It's got everything. And none of it makes any sense.
There's no reason for any of it, really.
I mean, there is, but none of it connects, and they don't go anywhere far enough with anything, but you've got a great cast, and it's all very, 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 very silly.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
And it's produced by Aaron Spelling, so that means everybody's going to be really horny.
Well, yeah.
Wasn't everybody a lot more horny back then than they are now?
From the cocaine, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. The cha-cha.
Well, they'd be horny, but they don't never act on anything because it's TV. So everybody's talking around the dirty stuff, but you can tell everyone's really horny. And it's got the Georges in it.
There's a fire burning between the Georges, that's for sure. They're always
American horror royalty. Love them both.
This is from the era. What year is this? Like 77?
I do remember seeing it when it first aired, and it scared the hell out of me because I couldn't follow it. I didn't really understand it. But it's one of those ones that people don't. A lot of times, people come up to me and they're asking, like, "Is the movie?" And I can't remember what it was called, but what I remember is this. If they say "breathing sarcophagus," yeah, that's what people remember, and I remember that scaring the hell out of me, and it doesn't make a lick of sense. It makes no, doesn't go anywhere with it. But anyway, I'm babbling.
An inflatable sarcophagus is always a plus in your film.
Will this movie remind me of the one where Shatner's on the
A
airplane
little.
with the exorcism at 67,000 feet?
That'd be the
Is that
terror
the
at
same?
37,000 feet. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that has a fairly strong plot that's just bonkers.
Yeah.
This one has a whole lot of nonsense crammed into one. It's got a little Amityville horror. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, and I think it's fun.
This is one of my favorite types of movies, which is set on a boat, but not a big boat. It's like a smaller boat, and that really bothers me. It's extremely claustrophobic.
I like to say that they should put quotation marks around cruise and terror. Cruise into terror, because you really don't get either. But.
Well, you know. There's another made-for-TV movie called Satan's Triangle that also takes place on a small pleasure craft, and it's really scary. The boat there is even smaller, and there's another one that I'm not remembering right now. Bloody Weekend or Blood Voyage or something like that. So I dig it. I kind of like this movie, even though, like Patrick said, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, any of you who have not seen this movie already, don't get your hopes up. We only bring you the best on the Drive-In Asylum double feature.
I love TV movies, though, so I'm down for, I've seen tons of them. Any John Moxley ones I've seen, but I know I'm down for any of these, because I also love, if you think about these had tons of commercials in between them too, so we're going to see them in a and if this played on the CBS late movie, it was like a 4-hour event.
Yeah. This is like this. We're gonna, like, even if you're not enjoying yourself, it's gonna be over in an hour and 10 minutes. We're done real quick. But you've got Ray Milland in it. Late Ray Milland, when he's really cranky, also always makes me very happy, because this is when he started talking like Betty Davis, and once you notice it, you won't be able to not notice it.
There's lots of people in it. Stella Stevens is in this. And
wearing flats, she learned.
Who else?
The guy who played Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica, the Georges. A whole lot of people I don't. Catwoman. Catwoman's in it.
Yes, Lee Merriweather.
And the guy from Dynasty, John Forsythe. I'm surprised the boat doesn't sink from the amount of scenery chewing that John Forsythe does. It's intense. As Father Exposition.
Devin just brought up in the chats the Bermuda Depths, which is one of my favorite TV movies. I just wrote about it for Wonder Magazine, which is it's got Connie Selleck in it, and it's real weird. And Lee McCoskey, Burl Ives is in it, Carl Weathers, and a giant turtle, and special effects by the people who made Ultraman. It's wild.
The giant.
And it's got a musical number in it, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to see this. I love TV movies, and
yay!
I'm excited to see what the ad gallery looks like for it too.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is there? If there is.
Well, I don't want to disappoint you or anything, but there is no ad gallery for it. Although I do have an ad.
Yeah, I figured you may have maybe a Judith Christ inset review from TV Guide.
No, I did find an ad somewhere, and if you let me sort of ramble for a second, I can probably find it.
Okay. Somebody that we left out of the cast, the captain, was it Dirk Benedict?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's wearing Michael Landon's wig. Wig is serious. Yeah.
So here we go.
Yay!
A world television premiere, folks. So yeah, this was a big deal. Hugh O'Brien also.
Hugh O'Brien, that's what I meant, not Dirk Benedict. Yeah, he's the one in the wig.
Yeah, sorry, I did say Dirk Benedict.
I saw Dirk Benedict in the chat, and I went down the rabbit hole.
I don't know who Frank Converse is.
Frank Converse, I know him as a Broadway star. He was a hot ticket at the time, and he doesn't have much to do in this, unfortunately. I mean, he's not great, but anyway, he's pretty.
He inherited the shoe money.
You and me both, Steve. But even though we had this lovely thing to look at, do you want me to show the picture now, Patrick?
It's for after.
It's for after? Okay. After. Well, it looks like Sam is ready to do the beverage. I do have an ad gallery to show everybody, though. So we'll do the drink first, please. And then we'll do that.
Cool. What I did is I actually looked up.
It was
for this movie,
1978,
I know
Paul.
the ship is small in this, but I looked up one of Carnival Cruise Line's top drinks. So this is but I'm going to call it something different. This is called the sarcophagus, based on this movie. So pretty simple. So let's make it up.
Okay, shall we?
Bartender Boots is here.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Where is she? Where are you? I can't get. She's
Is
looking
she
down.
still stoned from her catnip
Yeah, there
experience?
she is. There's Boots. Look up, honey. Yeah, look at the nice people.
There she is.
Hello.
She wasted. Oh,
She and me and Sam and everybody else too.
I'm just a waste.
So we're going to start this one with an ounce and a half of Malibu, which I imagine all the girls from One Dark Night had those plastic bottles of Malibu in their purses.
I hope they did.
Well, with all that reefer and pills, there wasn't much room for anything else.
You know what goes great with Demerol?
Alcohol.
Pineapple rum, or coconut rum.
Pineapple rum. I the sickest I've ever been drinking was on Malibu. It was like a really bad one.
Yeah, let's asking for it.
No, great. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it was bad. So then we're going to do an ounce and a half of amaretto.
Hi, baby. I know. I'm talking to weird people on the internet again. Not paying you any attention.
And then we're going to do 2 ounces of pineapple juice.
I'm mixing this in the dark, so I don't know how accurate it is. But
You know what? Just go with your heart. That's what I always tell people.
shut up and drink it.
It's alcohol. It's going to taste great. You'll fucking love it. All right. And then 2 ounces of cranberry juice.
What's that? Oh, I did get that. Sorry.
It's a healthy drink. You won't get scurvy.
Right. You're doing your body a favor.
Mm-hmm.
You are. You're hydrating it and dehydrating it at the same time.
That's my beverage. Hey, baby, stop. Baby, stop.
This is the 3rd cruise ship disaster movie that Stella Stevens was in. So let's shake this drink up in honor of her as if you're the ship. She's on it.
I think you're bartender.
Mine's already poured.
Oh, yeah.
You got there first.
Bye.
All right, let's pour that out.
Okay.
Your cat must be gorgeous, Eldon.
All right. All right. So here's the cruising into all sorts of places,
Cheers.
including Tara.
Pazuzu.
No ma me too. You'll understand that later.
Oh, I like this one, Sam.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. It's like Don Ho came in my mouth. Ooh.
That hasn't happened for a long time.
There's tiny bubbles.
It had to be said.
Dick.
So, I will now show you the ad gallery that I prepared for something that really did not have many options. That was the only ad that I could possibly have shown you. So, I actually went with a different approach. These are all movies, and of course, I can't find it now. These are all movies that were theatrical films, but I found a whole bunch of ads of theatrical films premiering on TV and not the usual stuff. So as soon as this gets loaded, we're already loaded, but this isn't. Here we go.
Speak for yourself. Ooh.
So the first one that I found was The Birds. This screening, this ad really spoke to me because they gave that spoiler about Annie dying right there in the tagline. Why did they kill Annie? Why? These damn birds. So this is from 1971. Obviously.
Buckle-dee, now.
Oh, now that's going to be stuck in my head. Thanks.
You're welcome.
This
Whoa.
Svengoolie-esque Happy Halloween from Creature Features.
Oh.
Is that Svengoolie or was that a different host?
Is that 1970? I don't think it's no.
Svengoolie has a very complicated history that confuses me.
Okay.
But yeah, these two flicks on a Halloween night, what better could you come up with in 1970? Here's one that you don't see too often: Mutant.
Mutant, yes.
Ooh.
Wings Hauser himself. Not quite dead week.
That's the one with the kid from Burnt Offerings growing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And also the movie that put Film Ventures International finally out of business.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly it failed so badly that's why he had Montero.
Not quite dead week, it said. That's funny. Oh, Stanley.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I saw Stanley on TV, and that was it. The snake didn't bother me so much as the quicksand.
How much that type on the top, Bill? That font on the top is in your heart. This whole ad is.
70s TV made me think that quicksand was really going to be a bigger part of my life. That and obscene phone calls.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember this one.
I think this
Don
was
Meredith.
a TV movie. No, first time on TV. Terror on the 40th Floor. That woman looks like she should be in a Hallmark releasing ad. The one on the left. Both of them
I
actually.
put Office Party in quotes too. Like, what is it?
And John Forsythe's severed head, apparently.
It's not much of a party when the building catches on fire. This was like a Towering Inferno ripoff.
Oh wow!
This was just beautiful.
Oh, God damn.
Absolutely beautiful. I love that. It's like he's coming right out of the TV. They should have given you 3D glasses with this one.
They really should have. Hangs, hacks, burns. Oh, beautiful.
The Conqueror Worm. And speaking of the Georges,
this fucking movie.
Yeah, I love Day of the Animals so much. I just got the Blu-ray that came in the mail a couple weeks ago. I finally sat down and watched it. Stunning film. As Lee Gambin will tell you, he does the audio commentary for the last incarnation of Day of the Animals. He does a great job.
That movie also has a dream cast for me as well.
Yes.
Death Moon.
Remember this one?
Yeah. I stayed at the hotel they shot this at in Kauai.
I've never seen that.
Oh, Deborah Lee Scott. No,
didn't she just die?
No, she died a long time ago, sweetie. Her and Wendy Joe Sperber went about the same time. Two brilliant comedians gone. Okay, I brought their house down. Sorry.
That was the world premiere.
Wow.
Doctor,
back up.
This is just genius.
Oh, the italic font in this makes me want to watch this movie. It just and it's on a Monday night. Like, who knew Monday nights could be so great?
Ian Hunter, wasn't that one of the MTV VJs?
Yeah, it was.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was him. I really don't.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a stunner. Halloween 2. Becca, where are you when we need you? Oh, she is there.
Hi, Becca.
Hi.
This is one of the movies at April Ghouls this year, and I'm very excited to see it.
Oh shit.
Oh, it was Alan Hunter. Sorry, the VJ. Stop ruining my buzz with facts.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
Look
the
at
devil's
this,
hand. Yeah, Jazzer.
Oh,
Chili Billy himself.
11 Alive. Oh, God.
This was my childhood.
Picks.
Ghost host.
Also, the look of the 11 Alive logo with the lowercase e on the uppercase letters. Just,
It's drunk. That is drunk.
yeah, it's great. Oh,
House on Sorority Row.
How do we know she's not alive?
This ad, Bill, did you design this ad with a time machine? This really feels very Bill.
I did not design this ad with a time machine, but I'm thrilled that you think I did it. Here's some Elvira for you.
Yes.
Wow.
She's in the new
Chicago.
She's in the Munsters remake that Rob Zombie's doing.
She sure is.
I can't wait for that. Actually,
Uh,
the more and more I think about it, I'm more excited about it every day.
wow.
How did this happen?
This
I-
movie must have been 5 minutes long on TV.
Yeah, I mean, what did they show?
Some shots of Tisa Farrow looking concerned.
Yeah, and it started at 7:00. It's a little early for the kids are still up. They're like, hey, maybe you want to
It's
see
a
a baby.
school night. You got to traumatize the kids.
Yeah.
You can't set them in the bed in the middle.
What I love is they're like, hey, it's just a skinned rabbit. It's not a baby, which is still horrifying.
Yeah, it's more the idea than
It's
actually
unfair.
what's on screen.
Yeah. And a couple of those kids were probably, George Eastman's kind of hot. That's where it all starts.
Ian Hunter fronted Martha Hooper. I knew he was a rock star. I don't know how I got waylaid with that MTV VJ shit. Thank you, Steve Wilson.
All the young dudes. Man, I'm so excited about seeing stuff on TV now instead of streaming. Bring it back.
I know. Like Patrick said earlier, like you had to be in a certain place to watch these things, and it was an event.
And I know we've talked about it before. I would get my TV guide on Tuesday and go through and like highlight off stuff that I was excited about.
And these movies were fucked up. Like the movies could have like incest, applied pedophilia, eating babies, Satanism, rape, everything. And you sat there with the whole family. It came on right after Wonderful World of Disney and segued right into Satan's School for Girls. And you just stayed there. Because if you didn't watch it, then everyone would be talking about it at school the next day and you would be the one out.
I remember when we were kids and Soap was on, my mom said, don't tell any of the other kids that we allow you to watch this show.
I remember watching the Thornbirds with my mom.
Yeah. My mom had the book and she was so excited about it.
So did mine. My mom was hot for Richard Chamberlain. Oh, well. Sorry, Mom. Hate to tell you something.
Yeah. I just talked to my mom about that. She goes, we didn't know how the world was back then. And he was a gorgeous man. And he was just, I'm like, yes, he was. And in his, in the Alan Quartermain movies, his lover played his brother in the second one.
That's a little creepy.
That's creepy. And then Sam made it tacky. This is why we get banned in conversations with Sam.
I know. Sorry. You're the one that said incest and Satan. I think you broke the seal. Also, we should probably say next week we're only showing one movie, right?
Yeah, next week. I have to work late next week, so we can only do one movie. But I didn't want to do another day off this month, so we will be back on next week. It'll be a Drive-In Asylum late movie at 11 p.m. And, should we wait for the third segment to reveal what that is, Sam?
Yeah, I'll do a teaser. Becca picked it. It's one of her favorite movies. And if it had worked out and it didn't, there were 3 movies that all started with the same title. And the third one wasn't made.
So there's your clue.
There's your clue. So super excited about it. And she's been asking to watch this, so I'm really excited to watch it. So she may offer some thoughts on it as well. So
let's do this.
I'm very excited to watch this movie and not get in trouble or get anybody kicked off Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, be careful when you engage with Sam on Facebook because you never know.
It is not Mannequin 2, by the way. Gigi guessed Mannequin 2. 100%. Becca just got a signed picture from Mannequin 2.
Good answer.
Yeah, that will be shot at some point, I'm sure.
So, I think everybody in the chat that I noticed has been here before, but in case you haven't, we don't actually watch the movie in this environment. There's a link on Groovy Doom. It's one of the last posts on there. But Patrick, are you going to do the chat room?
Yep. I'm opening it right now.
Okay.
www.screamqueens.com/drive-in.
There we go. I still had it.
Bing.
So you can go watch it live with Patrick and his group, or just watch it on your own and come back. We give you about 5 minutes to go do what you got to do, and then we'll be back on afterwards to talk some more about the many pleasures of Cruise into Terror.
Kitty, get down. Jeez.
We'll see you when you come back, and enjoy the movie.
Don't die.
No, don't die, please.